Track battle is a relentless pursuit of perfection. Hundreds of hours spent on simulation, engineering, design, and testing, chasing one perfect lap. This race is not against a physical opponent, it's a fight against the clock. The fourth stop in the track battle season, Mid-Ohio's twists and turns are a playground for time attack competitors, whose only goal is to secure a track record. The season so
yes,
far.
Yeah, everything's really far from you from New York.
We won't take a guess. It's good, and I'm glad to be here. So we got times to beat for the Group C session. Thanks to Abe Schmucker for getting that lined up for us. Sundae Cup, a 151.777. Matt Williams, and that was the best lap that he ran yesterday. And I'm kind of curious to see where that'll stack up because I'm not sure the track is ideal. It's better than it was this morning,
but far from ideal.
But it's far from ideal. So I'm curious to see where things are going to be as we got the green flag flying and cars coming across the line. The Sundae Cup cars are out here as well, the spec fits. This is such a cool class to me. I really badly want to compete in this because it just seems like if you want to have the most fun for the least money, that seems like the best way to go.
It is.
Because you're driving this car, at 100% just getting to the racetrack. And then you get to the racetrack and you get to drive at 120%. And they're the happiest little cars. And they just the way they drive, they look happy.
That's just a happy looking car.
I don't think there is necessarily a correlation with fun and speed necessarily. I think you can have fun doing 80 miles an hour.
You can absolutely have fun doing 80 miles an hour. Miatas and Fits are just 100% evidence of that.
Right, and I think the faster you go, the more intense you have to be.
Right.
Because the mistakes at 160 miles an hour are a lot more consequential than a mistake at 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, and getting everything down, perfect to a T is key in a low-powered car like that too. Because if you lose momentum, you can't power out of it. You have to hit your marks every time.
Heading down towards turn number 4. And this is a pretty long straightaway. It's a little bit deceiving because it's bisected by a kink, and so you can't really see the whole straight in one go. Right. It's a pretty long straightaway. You're doing, these cars, you're anywhere between 100 and, for the Fits, 100 miles an hour and 130 for some of the other cars out there.
And in the unlimited cars and the faster sessions, I wouldn't be afraid in the dry to see 150, 160 miles an hour at the end of the back straight.
Right. And Cup cars, the spec fit, 151.777. I don't think we're there yet. But we will. Oh, Sunday. So Sundae Cup, Matt Williams ran a 155.7. So he's still got a little work to do. Again, the track's probably not all the way there. As we wait for some more cars to come across the line. Still a lot of green from scratch, and you can drive your car on track, and it doesn't have to be a fast car. No. You don't have to be a race car driver. But you can get that experience and work your way up through levels. And once you're in, the advanced HPD session, then you can start thinking, hey, maybe I should give time attack a try.
Right. Maybe I should try time attack. Maybe I should try GLTC. You can. There's so many stepping stones in place to be able to get there. If that's something you're interested in doing, and it's really awesome to see that this Gridlife event has so many different levels.
One within reason,
as we've seen.
And so that's why I think GLTC is so exciting. That's why time attack is so exciting, is because you can start driving your Honda Fit around the track and
have fun and be competing with somebody in time attack.
So I think for now we're going to step away for just a moment, and we'll be right back with Gridlife in the middle of your screen there a moment ago. And I mentioned earlier there are some happy-looking race cars.
I love spec fit.
And the other thing is when you learn the limits of a car like that, I feel like it teaches you good habits about how to carry momentum and carry speed.
Well, and I think it also builds driver confidence, right? So if you're in a car with 500 horsepower, as an example, you might enter China Beach and be a little bit concerned with your speed and say, okay, well, I want to make sure that I'm safe, and you're going to brake really, really hard.
Yeah.
If you're in a car like a spec fit that might be doing 100 miles an hour or less by China Beach, your primary concern is, how little do I have to brake to get through this corner? It's like the opposite mindset. And that car is slow enough where you have plenty of time to think about what you're doing and make good choices.
Yeah. Smith in the 444, that was a 144.385 that he ran back in 9th overall.
So it looks like cars making their way to
Abe it's coming down.
Absolutely.
So by the time they finish the warm-up lap, the track probably will be wet. So there we go.
Don't expect anybody to set records here.
A couple spec fits still out on track. Rolling on through, but down through 4 and 5. There's a big train of cars down there. Get all following each other. There's the 14. And that is the fastest car of the session. That's Cal Fortner's unlimited all-wheel drive car. But how about Taylor Bowling in the 619, 149.332, the first car to come across the line and go purple for the session. Yo Cutla in the 32 car, second in street rear-wheel drive. 3/10 between those two drivers as it stands right now.
Cars tend to be, so I'd like to see more of those cars running in our field because it's a really good chassis and it's a really, really checkable car.
Absolutely. Between those two drivers as it stands right now. I think Tom McGurn probably has something to say about that as well. He's a big Honda guy. Running an S2000 in GLTC, but comes from a long background of driving Civics.
Yesterday afternoon. And so seeing him out and getting a few good ones in, I bet he's hoping for dry weather tomorrow.
So with the checkers falling, the last couple drivers will come skating across the start-finish and lay down the last time that they can before packing up and doing it all over again tomorrow. And last time. Matt Williams, how about the Sundae Cup car, 153.094. Only about 2 seconds off, given the track state. Not too bad.
And Matt's been driving Spec Fit for, I think, since it became a thing. And he is really, really good at maximizing the potential out of that car.
He absolutely is. So that's going to wrap up Time Attack Heat number 5. Coming up next, Gridlife Touring Cup race number 2 of the weekend is about to go green. We'll be back with you in just a moment for the start of that race, and we'll see you in a few minutes to bring you the second race of the weekend and all the action you've been waiting for with Wheel to Wheel. So we've got Mid-Ohio wet track records on screen. Sundae Cup with Matt Williams, the 230.398 Jackie carousel. And again, there's a big bump through the middle of the carousel, right in the middle of the track. And you hit that, and your car gets loose, and it settles back down, and you come over the crest in turn 13, and it gets loose again, and you're fighting the car for the entire last little sector.
So about a half dozen all-wheel drive cars coming through start-finish, and then
And Matt Williams in his Sundae Cup Spec Fit. He was about to have a whole lot of fun. I was with him yesterday. We drove the track backwards, head over to turn 4, and that's where we discovered those big puddles that have only gotten worse. So thanks to Matt for taking me out there and let me see the track at ground level for the first time this weekend.
So pretty slippy coming out of carousel here.
And there's Matt Williams. He's off. That's China Beach, and he'll just try to coast right through it, and it looks like he'll be able to get in and out relatively efficiently. But
taking the rally line through the corner.
Yeah. We were just discussing, when I was out there with him yesterday, we were discussing how short China Beach was. It's a lot less deep in person than it looks on camera, but well, he'll get back out on track and get back rolling.
And just reset for the next lap. We'll see if he can best his 2:30 time from 2018.
He's probably laughing about that.
A bit.
He's a funny guy. Big slide there. That's the 495. That's Richard Cho having a big old time. These Nissans love to skid, don't they?
They do.
Lexington, Ohio, I was reading up on the town the other day. There are 0.0 square miles of water in this town, but 3.84 miles of town.
There you go.
I think that number's changed today. I think it's probably 3.84 square miles of water today.
So we see...
this is the 13 car here. This is Jeremy Bailey across the line. He will go, and we'll see if he can improve on his best time. Yeah, by a second, 2:49.899.
Looks like Peter Zhang trying to go fast here in that Subaru. He's been running with Gridlife TrackBattle for a few years now and delivers pretty consistent performance from event to event.
And he'll head through turn 1, and he's got a whole group of cars that are now running through that first corner. And there's Matt Williams in the back of that shot, but it's the 13 in the front, Jeremy Bailey, then it's Peter Zhang, and then it's Matt Williams, all trekking towards the keyhole. And again, being pretty ginger on the brakes here, smooth applications, and so far so good. Peter Zhang, his best time of the session's a 2:24.866. Vladimir Skirta just went quicker, 2:26.206 for him. That was an improvement on his best lap. But Mark Brylow still the fastest in this session at a 2:21.500.
Looks like Charlie Enslim maintained control of his Mustang.
Wow, he
managed to save it coming through madness.
I spoke too soon. He had it. He's also having more fun than we are right now.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah. So the what number?
575.
575. Yeah. I have Clay Davidson on the timing and scoring here, so I'm not sure if they're changing out drivers or if that's
Maybe they're dual driving cars.
Could be dual driving.
I think that happens quite a lot.
It definitely has happened quite a bit. You never know. As Matt Williams works his way down the hill, and he'll beat it with a 2:33.370, but Brylo's still the fastest in the session with his 2:21.500. Here comes the 575 across the line, thundering through. Checkered flag for him, and it will not be an improvement that time.
And I think every time we say conditions are improving, well, Mother Nature just kind of like flips a switch and it starts raining again.
Yeah, here it comes. It's starting to rain again, at least in turn 13. I can't tell, it's sort of misting more than it is raining per se. I was just corrected. It is raining. I'm sure the camera people on the other side of the track are they're soaked by now, I'm sure. But and thanks to all the production guys for standing out there. The car warmed up here, but yeah. So Luke's one of his pistons exploded, and they don't know why. So they know what it is, they just don't know why it happened. So they're still kind of figuring that out. But we'll get this BRZ turned back around, and again, conditions are, well, we had started to dry things out, now it's soaked back through again. So pretty much just like we had earlier for Group 1.
Yeah, I would not expect to see any time attack cars go fast today.
No, I think we're past that point. A couple more spec fits out there though. They're going to have a whole lot of fun as we wait for the green flag to fly on this session, about 15 minutes, and then we'll turn them loose for Gridlife Touring Cup Race 4, and then head to a Slip Angle Live road trip material. I was always one of those people that listen to music on road trip, and something tells me we're probably not going to encroach on too many of those here.
No, I expect not. Even Matt Williams' Sunday Cup time looks to be untouchable right now.
Yeah, and Williams, he took an off-track excursion through turn 4, and he's been the quickest of the spec fits so far at most of these events, so I'm not sure that we'll see that time get knocked down today.
At some point, it can't possibly get worse on track. So.
Oh, there's a 440 car looping it on the front straightaway. He's found his way into the gravel, and he dug in pretty deep with the front end. And you see him right off to the left of your screen, just over the top of the Armco by the cone. You can see that car. He's just looped it around and nosed it into the barrier. That will bring out a black flag in this session. With so little time left, that will have everyone come to pit lane.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably stuck here. I would imagine this session will end short right here.
And the gravel is there by design, and it's to keep drivers from skidding all the way to the wall, and it's very effective at what it does. I think, especially in wet conditions, I think a lot of tracks like Watkins Glen have transitioned to using paved runoff, which is awesome in the dry. When it gets wet, I think I'd rather probably have gravel.
Probably, yeah. It's the gravel requires a tow often in conditions like this,
yep.
But it does a pretty good job keeping cars out of the barrier.
Right. I think I'd rather take a tow than tow to the paddock than take a tow to the junkyard. So I think there's definitely an advantage to the gravel, and especially at a corner like turn 13 at Mid-Ohio, where you come off of a corner that drops you down, the track falls away, and there's a wall on the other side of the track. So if you just paved it, drivers would use that extra pavement and they'd end up crashing into the wall. So the gravel's not a bad thing to have there. So everyone will come back into the pits. We'll end time attack heat 6. We've got one more time attack session later in the day, but GLTC race number 4 will be coming up next in about 10 minutes time.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. So we'll go over times one more time. We'll step away for a few minutes, and we'll be back for GLTC Race 4. Times for Ben Lynn, 2:28.808, fastest lap of this group. Yo Cutla in the 32. Shred the gnar, boys. It was the 48 BMW, and he just got it corrected and carried on right in front of the spec fits. That was in turn number 5. Braking zone, so there's more. You got more weight on the front of that car versus the rear when you're heading down into turn 4, where you got all the weight balanced on the nose and no rear grip. There is a spec fits. Matt Williams in the blue one on the right, and silver versus blue into turn number 2. It's the 129 of Williams that leads that group. And you see the back end slipping out just a little bit, but put the power to the, well, what little power you do have, put it to the ground and pull out of the corner, and the blue fit, and it looks like he's going to run a 2:28.468. Matt Williams across the line improves 2:27.302. Number 8 car, the not so fit racing machine across the line. Improvement 2:36.421 for the number 8. And there he is as he enters turn number 1. Windshield wipers going, and behind him there's the and next across the line, Matt Williams. And he improves 2:25.249 for the 129 car. And the Sundae Cup, spec fit, his previous best lap in the wet in spring of 2018 was a 2:30.398, which he would have just beat. Again, I'm not sure if this is classified as a wet or a dry, so I can't confirm. Shout out to Will's dad as Will jumps in the shot. These guys have a lot of fun. And again, I want to thank these guys again because they're out there. I'm sitting in an air-conditioned booth on the opposite side of the track from the starting tower, and I can tell you, I've had a very nice weekend in my cozy little soft chair. I feel so bad for the guys that are out there roughing it in the weeds, grabbing us these amazing camera shots. Improvements this time through for the 444. Brian Smith, 2:36.127. That is his fastest lap of the session. And 12 minutes into what should be a 15 to 18-minute session. There's the not-so-fit racing car, the silver Honda Fit. Now, I mentioned earlier that Sundae Cup seems like the perfect way to get into time attack. These cars, even Ford Fiestas, can be entered in this class without too much modification. Perfect cars to learn how to carry speed and carry momentum and teach you good driving habits so that you can move up into higher-level classes and get your way and start being a Jeremy Swenson or a Jackie Ding. This is a great place to start to learn the driving dynamics. And this is sort of something I wanted to end up getting into at some point to get myself on track if I can find the time during a race weekend to do so. Into the braking zone for 4. These cars also weigh nothing, so they'll skate over the top of the surface. They don't really dig in very well, but that's part of the reason why they're so fun. And up over into 5. And Bolthus does a 2:39.894 for his track mod front-wheel drive 42 car. And there he is in the red Civic across the camera angle there. And some drivers taking advantage of the track time, not all. There's Matt Williams. Great character. We got to hang out with him yesterday at the end of the day and drive on over to turn 4. And also got to drive the track in reverse. And the thing about driving a racetrack backwards is you start to pick up on undulations that you don't notice when you're driving the right direction. So when you come over a crest normally, like at the exit of turn 13, where the track falls away from you, you don't really notice how much it falls away until you turn around and look at it from the other direction, and you can see the rise up the racetrack. It's sort of amazing. Same thing on the back straightaway. How much elevation is there as well? Not really apparent going the right way, very apparent going the wrong way. And typically you don't want to go the wrong way, but it can help you understand and appreciate how the track is laid out and how it fits the earth underneath it. Williams again with his Amazon.com fog lights as he heads up under the bridge. He was telling me one of them is behind the front grille, the other is in the fog light housing. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case. That he just told me that, very matter of fact. Yeah, one's behind the grille, one's not, and didn't really give me a reason why. Chris. Okay, so so Chris, tell me, we have not yet done time attack in the dark, but we will. Maybe. Okay, so Midwest Festival, I've been told, will have a lot of... Okay, so we've got GLTC Time Attack Under the Lights. That sounds like a lot of fun. Again, I think one of the cool things about night racing is that it allows people to be creative. And just a few weeks ago, in NASCAR's All-Star Race at Bristol, they ran LED underglow, and GLTC did that first last year. So and they did it better. So I guess we're going to see something like that again this year. Time Attack as well. I'm sure the Drift Bros will be out shredding some skids out there doing what they do. So Matt Williams across the line, no improvement that time. Still no checkered on this session. As we watch him roll down the hill through turn 2. And the track is mostly quiet. The cars are spread out. And it looks like we're going to see Matt Williams back. He's got his headlight or his fog lights a-flashing as he comes through turn 11 and into 12. And checkered on this session. And this will wrap up our time attack sessions for Gridlife Track Battle round number 4 of 2020. So Matt Williams will hit pit lane. He won't finish this lap. And the next couple of cars as we get the checkered fall. Jason Owens at the top of the board at 2:21.738, fastest in Group C.